Congratulations. You found the Twin Cities Hit Show.
Very well. Where do I begin?
Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention?
Reach for this one.
And now, a real hit show.
Tony, Dr. Bellins is under the impression that you can control the weather. Can you? No, sir, I can't.
Live from the Twin Cities, it's the Twin Cities Hit Show.
I'm singing in the rain, just singing in the rain. What a glorious feeling, I'm happy again.
Let's get this hit show started.
We've almost had it all this week. All we need is some snow. We had 90 degrees, blue skies, rain.
Why would you say that? Because we do live in a place that it
so
could
close.
just randomly snow.
We are so close. Come on, Minnesota. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Snow after the deck show, not this afternoon.
Don't you like it, though? It gives you a little, just some excitement, a little challenge, surprises in your life with the weather like this.
What is the current temp out there? Are we
22 degrees Celsius.
No.
No, Fahrenheit.
What is that?
I have no idea. It feels like it's about 60-something. It's
Yeah.
really,
I mean, it's got to
I'll
be down
find
by...
out.
Yeah.
We got to be about 35 degrees cooler than we
Than it
were
was.
on Tuesday.
what I also noticed is that it's raining. It's not supposed to be raining today. I mean, seriously.
It's not?
I didn't think so. I thought it was supposed to be beautiful all week.
I did see that at one point.
Yeah.
It is now 61 degrees with light rain.
So, and it was 90-some on Tuesday, so a 30-some degree change.
Right. This is the best it's going to get all day today.
Oh, that's
This is the high.
great.
Really?
This is the high. So it's just going to be this the rest of the day.
Yeah, then an extended forecast did change that.
Yep.
Because I
So-
saw one earlier in the week that, it's going to be 80s and sunny all week.
It's supposed to be that the rest of this week, so 79 and mostly sunny from tomorrow on through next Wednesday is what it looks like. But knowing the way that things are here, that's probably just means that the Weather Channel and everybody else is just stuck on that, and it might change. You never know.
Just got the weather report. It seems like we need to go to traffic now.
No.
Time and temp, it's
There's a
9:35 here
There's a
on
slowdown on 35W.
Wednesday. Or Thursday, sorry, Thursday.
You've done this before, haven't you?
So we're going to be inside then this afternoon.
Literally. Yes, and they have a fabulous space. Remember, we're going to be at the Chart House tonight at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
Fun times.
Yeah.
There
Thank
is
you.
talk about pushing it back to 5:30 so people can arrive and not a rush
Yep.
because of the rush hour.
But
Yeah,
not
you don't
starting
wanna-
today.
Yeah. If you start drinking at 5, you're going to be drunk by 5. This way you'll be drunk at 6. So I think it's...
I'm not worried about how long it takes me to get drunk. I mean, it's really more of a, because one of the best things sometimes, if you're still a drinker, is day drinking. Like, if you are day drinking is brilliant. Like, there's just
It's
something
brilliant.
that feels like an accomplishment. It's like a special holiday if
It
you're
is.
a drinker.
Cheating.
Every day's a holiday.
Tuesday was all about that with the hot weather and the free beer out at Floyd's.
Yes.
That was so different day. Welcome to Minnesota. But
And the frustration at Valley Fair. That's what I was suffering. You were drinking at Floyd's and you were doing your radio gig. And
Yes.
I was toting around 2 whiny children at Valley Fair. I don't want to get wet. It's too tall. It's too short.
just so you know, and here's how much I've matured. I was having Diet Coke during free beer day.
Nice.
Rusty.
That is maturity.
I'm done with you. I can't
I applaud
carry
you, Mr.
anymore.
Gatenby. Well done.
I ain't going to be driving ever again after even one beer.
So can I share this crazy story that happened yesterday after the show?
No.
So
Wait, yes.
So yesterday, here, a friend of ours, Ron Lamprecht, who is also a comedian,
Oh,
was
yes.
here for a meeting.
I forgot to
Yes.
do- yeah.
So he was here for a meeting, and the meeting ended up getting pushed. So he was already not in the best of moods.
Pushed
So-
as in no show.
Exactly. But I was going to leave it alone and be polite about that
No-
part.
no show.
Yes. And so he was as he was leaving, he was a car behind me as we were going to try and get back onto 35W. And I hear him lay on the horn, so I look back into the rearview mirror to see what is going on. And a car had decided to try and do a U-turn, and it was turning into one of those 3-point turns, so she had to back up.
Austin
And she-
Powers in the golf
and
cart
she
turn.
backed up into his car.
Which is a Jaguar,
Yes.
FYI.
Yes, and at least she was going slowly enough that she didn't hurt him. She
Yeah.
just, dented his car, but then proceeded to drive away.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
hit
so
and
our
run.
friend, he spun around and had to follow her. And I remember going, should I go too? I might have to be that person in the parking lot holding the cell phone in case something goes awry. And I'm like, no, just stay away. So of course I hit him up, once I thought he had to chase her down.
Yes.
And he ended up so she never did pull over, but he followed her long enough to get her license plate number so that he could report it to the police officers.
Yeah.
And now he's wondering what's going to happen next. So thank goodness he's not hurt. His car's all banged up. So there are worse things other than rain. Yeah, there are worse things that ruin your day other than rain.
Here's how my perspective went on this. I pull up to Ron, and the kids and I had left a little late also. We're driving south past, what's that bakery we went to last week? The Buttery.
Yes.
Butter. And I see Ron outside pacing like a caged dog, walking
Mad.
around his car.
Yeah.
And I pull up, and the kids and I are kind of laughing. I'm like, that's Ron. He looks crazy. Let's video. So I pull up, and we're videoing him.
And
as
now
he's
he wants to
pacing.
hit you.
Yes, and he's walking around. I'm like, this is how Ron does business. He apparently walks around, looks at his car a lot, because I knew he had some business to do. I figured he's on a business call, pacing outside.
No.
And then, he told me the whole story. He straight up got in a car chase with this lady.
Yes.
She was blowing red lights. She was cutting off traffic.
Definitely trying to get away.
Finally, the 911 dispatcher goes, we want to catch her, but not that badly. You need to stop. Let her go. So they got a plate. He finds out where the car is registered to, and that's as far as they've gotten.
How can you afford a Jaguar?
It's an older Jaguar, but it's a really nice car.
That's one of those things like an oil change is $190.
And he has a day gig. He has like a legit day gig.
Yeah, he has
He's
like
not
a
just
job.
a comedian.
Yeah.
So he has both jobs. So if you have two jobs, you can afford a Jaguar.
Yeah, exactly. It's a very nice car.
Yeah.
Ron's a very nice person.
Yes.
Well, speaking of police, that was I thought a very informative show yesterday, enlightening to have the police chief from Roseville here, and another day, another crime and police controversy in the news. There is an update in the McKinney, Texas situation.
Good morning. The police officer's attorney says that 7-minute video only shows a small portion of what that officer went through that day. Case Bolt's attorney, Jane Bishkin, says her client responded to back-to-back suicide calls in the hours leading up to this moment. One involved a man who fatally shot himself in plain view of his family.
Eric assisted the officers. He assisted them in securing the scene, photographing the body. Eric also spent a considerable amount of time consoling the man's grieving widow.
Now, I feel for that. What do we think? Do we cut him some slack, or is that like...
Yeah, well, do you know the whole story? You've heard the whole story, Shannon, for those who haven't?
Yeah.
His attorney came out and said, yes, he's admitting wrongdoing for the healing of the community. He resigns. He hopes that brings closure to the community and blah, blah, blah. And here, just so you know, here's how his day went. So he went on a suicide call. Yeah, which is the one you just played. Yeah. That's one. That's just one.
Well, it said he went on two.
Okay, so the one where but it doesn't go into detail. He saw the remnants of the brains blown out. Talked to the wife. The second one, he talked a juvenile down off the wall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so she was like ready to jump, and he spent some time, and that's emotionally taxing as hell. So he basically talked her out of committing suicide. He cleared those two calls, and then he goes, "All right, I need a break.
Yeah.
But this disturbance call came out, and he's close, and he goes, "All right, I need a break, and I'm stressed, but they need me. I need to go. This is a big call," and as it went out, so he went, and he was one of the first guys there apparently, and he snapped.
I could see why he would still resign, because that's, think about what your day looks like. Do you want to keep... Exactly.
Yeah.
I can see it's
who
like...
needs this?
It's like clearly, we talked about this, I think, partially yesterday, is nobody says that this is an easy job, and you could see why sometimes you're just like, you know what, I'm just done. I've used up all of the reserves that I have.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the job for me anymore.
And that was my question to the chief yesterday. Does there come a point where people on staff need to be replaced?
Maybe he even thought that. It's hard to know exactly what's going in his brain, but maybe could you imagine being in a situation like that? And maybe he looked back at the footage and said, wow, I jumped on a little girl.
Yeah,
I jumped on a little girl because I was so stressed out. I mean, I'm glad that it's coming out. It's allowed for you to say, I had a terrible day and I didn't respond appropriately.
I had a no good, terrible, very bad day.
Does he get any money to live on from his time served?
Yeah, he's vested for his 10 years, and I mean, he can cash in his vacation. He'll buy him a little time. But here's the problem. Here's a guy who probably did a 2-year degree or 4-year degree in law enforcement, and he's not qualified to do anything else. And I'll tell you what, I can empathize with this guy, because I've had those days where I went on some really, really crappy calls, and they still needed me for the next one. And guess what? I probably snapped too. Yeah. And that was well before cell phone
I feel for
video.
the guy.
I do too.
I get it, but the other side does not. They're like, Yeah, we all have stressful days.
Yeah.
Good riddance.
No, I get that. I mean, you still have to, as his chief said, and the chief yesterday said, it's pretty indefensible. I mean, I finally watched the whole video. It's pretty bad. But, I think we need to have a reckoning.
I like his drop and roll, though. That was amazing in the video. Something happened just before he did that amazing Cirque du Soleil move.
Well, see, he still got it. But, maybe we need to, as a society, come to an understanding of how we deal with this. You can't have cops that don't have that bank of experiences because they're sucky cops. You're not worth a crap.
Well, is that a position, though, where then maybe the guys back at the office go, hey, buddy, we got this. You need to go home.
Well, yes and no. And I can think of a similar situation. I talked about the guy who shot at me. Or the gun went off and it was stressful and blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to keep going. And my partner, another sergeant that night, said, no, you're going to sit in the car and you're going to sit because you are not running this scene. You're stressed out. And I go, no, I got this, really. I'm okay. And I really was okay as far as I was concerned. He made me sit down. Well, later on, my bosses got on me for sitting down in the car because I gave up the control of the scene and blah, blah, blah. So there's still this mixed message you're getting from management.
Well, and I suppose you get no whatever from soldiers who have served in Afghanistan and whatever.
Right.
They're like, big deal.
Yeah.
That's like a Tuesday to me.
No, even the military's starting to understand that. There's finally an understanding what PTSD is. And in the military in particular, a lot of soldiers, I'd say at least half, come back suffering from PTSD.
Oh,
and,
at least, yeah.
Yeah, we're dealing with that finally. You're not going, oh, you're a pussy, don't talk about it. And that's what the World War II vets did. They never talked about what happened. Yeah, Grandpa killed 67 Nazis, but, we didn't know that. Now that's something you would know about a soldier.
And the image and the legend that we like to think is all those guys were John Wayne types, and they had no issues. They just bucked up and they sucked it up. But no, there were guys who went cray-cray after World War II.
And now I think that's why you still have these situations where they're going, no, you need to have a 6-month decompression time, and here's what you do, and you can't do anything else like that, because I think we do have more knowledge on what a human psyche can take and trying to put you under that stress. So, I mean, I can understand why the parents are probably going, well, I'm not going to give you a pass because you decided to go crazy on my kid.
Right.
So you can see from that situation where they, hopefully can be a bigger person. But if something goes awry with your kid and you're going, what could have been the next step? Yeah. Maybe it's something that that we use as another example of why we need to change the way that we do it. Like there's rules now that says truck drivers can't drive for more than a certain amount of time without pulling over. Does there need to just be some sort of guideline? And I'm sure it's more difficult to set that guideline because it's how do you know what a person's mental stress level is?
Yeah, everyone is kind of different.
Exactly. And every day would be different for a police officer, so you don't really know, but how do you what is that level?
Even after this show, every day I have to go home and shut the shades and suck my thumb and rock myself for at least 3 hours, sometimes 7.
I often cry in that shower just around the corner,
right,
alone and naked. So, two points I want to make about this. First of all, cops are beholden to minimums and staffing, and there's an acknowledgement that we're tired. I know you've been working for 10 hours already. But we're at minimums, so you need to hold over for 5 hours after your dog watch shift when you're normally sleeping, and you've already been working for 10. Too bad.
Dog watch? What is
the overnights?
I was going to say, so you're not actually going after dogs.
Yeah, well, they're actually you're running over dogs by accident because they're wandering around. But
when you say you were a dog catcher, or you were literally...
I literally caught dogs for about 4 years. I was a community service officer the entire time I was getting my undergrad
I didn't know
degree.
we even had dog catchers.
Yeah. Is that a big problem here in Minnesota? I don't see a lot of dogs running around. In Phoenix, in Arizona where I grew up, there were a ton of stray dogs. Yeah. But I feel like it's the climate leads to that. Lots of people have their dogs stay outside.
Do you guys herd cats, too?
Yeah, I used
to herd cats.
Herding cats. My favorite... Picking up a dead raccoon with a shovel in the middle of Snelling Avenue because we got to pick up all the dead animals too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
I thought there was a whole different group of people that did that.
Oh no, that's the community service office.
See, now
your job was fun.
Yeah, well, that's what
if you were working the South Metro, they go, "Hey, free dinner tonight."
I remember pulling up on the scene in my police car.
Raccoon.
Hey, look, the police are here. He's turned on his lights. Oh wow, I wonder what's going on. Wow, he's going into the trunk. This is a pretty big call. I wonder what's going on. That cop's grabbing he's grabbing a shovel. What's it? Oh, he's grabbing the raccoon. And have you ever tried picking up a raccoon?
No.
They roll away from you to try to use the shovel underneath them. So I'm walking behind this raccoon as it's going.
Joyous job.
You needed a nap after that one.
I want to make one more serious comment, then I'm going to shut up and be my normal self.
What?
Okay. I was on a call that straight up gave me PTSD for a long time. And it was, a long story short, a kid died. And I spent... As we were trying to save his life, he was 2 years old. My son was exactly 2 years old at the time. First kid I've ever identified with because I'm like, I could be this mom and dad, or the dad. I can identify with this kid, and I spent an entire ambulance ride with him to Children's Hospital, red lights and siren, saying, and his kid's name was Bryce. Bryce, stay with us. Keep your eyes awake. Keep your eyes awake. The entire way down to the hospital, we wheel him into the hospital. The mom is with me, also trying to keep her kid alive. And we got to the hospital, and he died. And I was right there with Mom when he died. And that call straight up fucked me up for months. And
how long had you been on the force at that point?
Oh, God, I was a sergeant at the time. So I think I'd been on probably 15 years.
Did you consider that's it after that?
No. I actually just made some really bad decisions and got frustrated. And, I had no support at home either. So I had no one to talk about. You can't go, hey, guys, that one really got to me. You pussy. I mean, they don't do that.
Right.
So you just internalize and you do stupid shit and you're suffering. I mean,
what stupid shit are you talking about?
Oh, I made some bad decisions in my marriage after that and some bad decisions in my life. And I just saw the frailty of life. And I made some bad decisions at work. And
when it might have helped if you had somebody to talk to and you had a counseling program and things like that.
Yeah.
Were you still in that mindset when you made the decision to be on the show?
That's straight up PTSD got me into this crap.
Damn.
What was I thinking? Yeah. So anyways, but I could see where, I mean, for months after that, I would break down crying. Just now, I almost broke down crying talking about it.
I would.
Understandable.
It is horrible. So
no.
But on the bright side,
look on the bright. There is no bright side. I couldn't do it. I'd be a mess.
Yeah. So,
city is in lockdown from overnight because of the prison escape.
Overnight in Katyville, police set up roadblocks and checkpoints, searching tractor trailers and questioning drivers as they hunt for escapees David Sweat and Richard Matt. This morning's effort follows Wednesday's announcement that the two men may have headed to Vermont.
We have information that suggests that they thought that New York was going to be hot, Vermont would be cooler.
Temperature? What are we talking?
In terms of law enforcement.
Local and state police in the Green Mountain State canvassed the area.
See anything suspicious, just give us a call.
It's like I've always wanted to go to Vermont. Let's go there. It's so much more temperate.
Call 911.
Including ferry crossings, homes, even ice cream.
Okay, ferry crossings. That's not politically correct, is it?
Yeah. Oh, stop. Alerting everyone to be on the lookout for the convicted killers. The pair broke out of a maximum security facility in New York State 5 days ago. Their elaborate plan included cutting through cell walls and steam pipes before climbing out of a manhole outside prison walls. Law enforcement sources
I believe the manhole is right near the ferry crossing.
CBS News that a civilian prison employee, 51-year-old Joyce Mitchell, told them she was going to pick up the two men after they escaped. Instead, she checked into a hospital suffering from a panic attack. She later told investigators of her...
What have I done? What have I done?
What have I done? Talk about somebody I don't feel sorry for.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh, poor you, and I helped escape somebody, PTSD.
Started panic.
In the escape plan. She has not been named a suspect. Toby Preem,
Here's the other
boyfriend for 13 years.
Maybe she just got on the wrong tracks or something.
Police have received 500 tips, and armed officers have been executing an exhaustive search through homes and dense backwoods.
Unarmed officers are
various
worthless.
areas throughout the state. If we needed to, we have a very big state police, and we'll bring in whatever resources are necessary to be effective.
Again, it's not clear why police came out here overnight, but it could be anything. It could be a tip from residents. We saw that in the days preceding this. It could be they've had dogs out, other things that might tip them off to a particular area to search for these two suspects still on the run.
And the jailer man and sailor Sam were searching everyone for the man on the run.
5 days.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Just once, I want one of these cops to get up and talk. We're not talking cliches. We are bringing all possible resources to this. We have a very effective state police. We're bringing in resources from the governor, and we are going to catch these perpetrators. We are going to take them in custody. We have the perimeter surrounded. The likelihood of apprehension is very high.
They have to say that. I
Yeah.
mean, don't tell me you're not going to catch them.
We're totally going to catch these guys. Oh, my God. This is
if
so
they
fun.
came back and said, we're not getting them, we call Dunsies. We're not looking anymore.
We have no idea. You're all on your own. You're all screwed. No, you don't want that. Did you just bring me all the way out of the... There we go. Hello, now I'm back.
Come on.
What are you doing?
High treble.
Okay.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Anyway, you don't want him to go, we have no idea. Run!
Right. No.
And we're live
Keep
with
looking.
the police chief,
Right.
Bryce Johnson. Yes, we're totally looking for them. Oh, my God. They are, running everywhere. But we're, throwing everything at them. We're going to totally catch these guys.
Run for the ferry bridge.
The apprehension was impeded. The suspects did try coming out of manhole cover, but there was a unicorn stampede.
What? So anyway, could you imagine living in a town where somehow you're surrounded and the town is in lockdown? That'd be a scary way to wake up. It's like, what do I do?
Well, I mean, right now it looks like a lot of places are still sending their kids to school. They're trying to say just continue on with your lives, but that would freak me out trying to make that decision.
Yeah. Because these, are murderers.
Yeah, bad dudes.
Evil guys.
Bad dudes. That means, Shannon, no dating.
I don't do that. That's not my problem. Did you see this
That's
fun
not
news
my
story?
problem.
No, that is not.
I have other problems.
I have other problems. I'm not saying everybody that I date is fantastic, but they are not normally murderers. I am not one of those people that intentionally looks for bad boys.
Yeah. Typically, they're
Geek
not.
guys that might go, well, that's weird, but there's no bad boy. Did you see? I have a fun news story, cop story. Did you see about there was a truck full of piglets that disappeared. Did you see that story?
The truck turned over.
Yes, the truck turned over, and so it was a semi-trailer carrying 2,200 piglets.
Aww.
And they all escaped, and so now they've had to have a bunch of people go, and they're looking at the crash site
pigs
in Xenia.
escaped?
Yes, it's near Dayton.
Maybe the pigs organized the rollover.
And if it was a Disney movie, that's what it would be. They're like, everybody lean to the left, and then the workers are now looking in the area over the next couple of weeks, so they're looking for the piglets. And so the officials with the USDA say that they haven't found any evidence to confirm that they're still nearby. So I think that they say like 1,100 piglets may have died in the crash. That's so sad.
Those cute little pre-bacony guys.
So they're looking for them, and I just love the picture that you see of these people out there looking for the pigs. Like, even the cops look like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is my job. So you talked about your dog catcher thing.
What a cliche. The pigs looking for the pigs.
Oh, so cute. So that's the excitement that they've had in Dayton, Ohio since Monday, is that they've been looking for these piglets that are all out somewhere in the wilderness near Xenia Township in Dayton, Ohio.
Hey, have you been getting any additional bad phone calls? There's a technology breakthrough for the robotic telemarketers.
Oh, okay.
They have found a way to beat the firewall, I guess. Anyway, here's a brief report from CBS.
Well, good morning. As one U.S. Senator put it, that do not call registry is now ineffective. Some new technologies, including smartphone apps, are allowing unwanted callers to reach you.
I've been bombarded by unwanted and irrelevant sales calls.
Linda Blaze is fed up, and she brought her complaint to Capitol Hill.
I work at home. When I'm not working, I want my time to myself. Instead, I get phone calls from people I don't know trying to sell me stuff I don't need or want, and I can't make them stop.
Her number is on the do not call registry, but the phone keeps ringing.
Well, I'm calling about an online request you once made.
Years it's been going on.
She kept track of them, logging every unwanted call she received for a month. The total, 62.
It's out and out crime, and it needs to be stopped.
I've been getting the calls that I don't recognize the number, and then when I answer it, it's silent.
So it's waiting for it to click through?
That's creeping me out.
Yeah. Well, I get with the silent, they ring and ring and ring, and I think in those telemarketing rooms, all of a sudden they get a beep, beep, pick up the phone, someone finally answered. So there's that silence as it connects. I take advantage of that right away, and I hang up before anyone can.
Me too, yeah. And so, because I get a couple of them, here. I don't get 62 a month, but I have noticed that I've got some, and I just kind of go, did I sign up for a thing, or did I try to go back through and go, where did I put my number that it ended up on some list? And sometimes you can tell, like I would put down, like when people used to call me by my ex-husband's last name, it's like, okay, we must have signed up for something together, because I don't ever use that number. But when they call, I'm probably over polite to people that are on that, because I'm like, okay, that's just your job. But when they're rude to me, it's like, don't be rude to me.
Yeah.
When they call up and they're can we talk to Mr. Paul? There is no Mr. Paul here. Well, then who is this? Wait, don't be. Wait.
Mm-hmm.
Just take me off your list. Don't be. Well, with that attitude, we're gonna. Okay, you hate your job.
Yeah.
That is not my fault.
I would hate your job.
I'm
too.
trying to be polite to you because I figure you need it. I want you to continue to be employed. I'm not trying trying to ruin your day. This is just what you have to do. Everybody should have a job, but don't be mean.
Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me.
So I'm like, I'm disappointed in that.
I Googled the when it was happening, like at least once or twice a day, the different out-of-state area code, and I would pick up, and it wasn't just that silent before the telemarketer connects. It's just like silent. And then if you return call, it says this number is not in service.
Oh, yeah.
And
Right.
they're different numbers.
Yeah.
And evidently that is some sort of a trend according
Yeah.
to Google. There's other people going, yeah, I get that too. I don't know what it is. I think it's the other dimension calling me.
Or it's blocked, because
Google
what I get is, this is one where it's all like, this is not a sales call. A really good friend of yours has, I'm like, no really good friend of mine would put me on a list and tell you to call me about some cruise or timeshare or something like that.
Yeah, no
When
kidding.
I'm bored, these are actually pretty fun calls, though, because you can fake, where Grandpa just died and everyone is over right now. This isn't a good time, but actually you have a very interesting offer. Hold on one second. I got to stir up the potato salad. And then I want to hear more. And you're going to have a lot of fun with these. When I have the time and I'm in the
Record
mood.
those.
Yeah, I actually will. Next time. So,
that
love
inspired
doing
me.
that.
Next time, because this vacation club calls like once a month.
Right.
I should go, I'd like 2 months worth. Yes, mark me down. My credit card number, it's 1 potato orange XL.
Bad timing. I love your vacation club, but bad timing. I just had my legs amputated, but I want to hear more. Do you have any wheelchair-friendly vacations?
I always tell them to call back, kind of thing. Like, you know what, this is not, I'm at work right now, but you can try me back again, which I'm sure.
1 week?
Because you're going to call back anyway.
You sound so convincing. 1 week. I want 12 weeks. In the presidential suite, of course. All right, Miss Geek, did you hear about Christopher Lee?
Yes, poor Christopher Lee.
I speak, Gandalf.
From Lord
A
of the
great eye, lidless, wreathed in flame.
He was good in Lord of the Rings, and he made it to the Hobbits, but he did die.
Yes. So,
He
Saruman.
was 90.
Lord Dooku in the Star Wars movies, he was that as well.
Did all those 70s vampire movies as well.
He played Dracula. He also was known for playing Frankenstein back then. He had that angular face, which quite often just cast him as a villain. So he was in James Bond as a villain.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He was one of the better James Bond villains.
Yeah, so he just played that you understand while he's a villain, but he's still a villain, kind of thing. So
he was like 90. Do you have
93.
93.
He was 93, and we're preparing a tribute to Sir Christopher Lee for your Geek Show. You'll be able to hear it this Saturday at 11. Because not only did he have a number of movie roles, like he also played. He was the voice of Jabberwocky in Alice in Wonderland. He was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah, the new one, the 2010 one. Yes, so he was in that one.
Oh, I didn't even know
he played Jabberwocky. So he was in that.
The Johnny Depp one.
The Johnny Depp one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so he was in that one. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He did because he voiced a number of Tim Burton films. He was in Sleepy Hollow.
What I love about that too is because he went through that whole decade or more of crappy movies, B and C-list movies.
Mm-hmm.
Toward the end of his career, he was in the biggest of big budget movies.
Right, and he was one of those things that he even admitted that he was in some movies that, as he put it, were ahead of their time.
Okay.
Yeah, is the way he put it. They were ahead of his
it.
time, and he said he said some of them were very good, some weren't. So Christopher Lee was very aware of what he was actually doing.
Here's what he had to say just recently about did he want the Gandalf role instead of the villain?
Of course, when I read it, I thought, oh, Gandalf, my God. Because I already knew a great deal about magic and the occult and supernatural, wizards, if you like, warlocks, witches, and so on. And Gandalf, as you know, is my junior when the film starts. Saruman the White was, at one time, very noble, fine, decent, honourable man. Well, he wasn't a man, he was an immortal. I'm happy to say that I've done the 2 Hobbit films. I've done my bits and pieces in the 2 ones that are coming out one day. When he is a good man.
So he was able to have that moment in his career.
And
That's
another
nice.
interesting tidbit is a lot of people don't know this, is that he actually had this series of heavy metal albums that he released. Yeah, so he had these series of
Singing?
Yes, and so they were called Charlemagne's by the Sword and the Cross was one of those, and he actually got a Spirit of Metal Award from Metal Hammer magazine. And so what he called them was symphonic metal is what he would do. And so that'll be part of the tribute.
Man.
And so they are very what you would think about. So he also had what he did for his 92nd birthday is he released an album of heavy metal covers that you can also find that was out there. And he's, you know, and it's interesting to watch him talk about those albums and what he would do. They're very, I'll call them like, you know how Meatloaf would have those very...
This is it.
Yes.
This
so
is one of them.
Yeah. And so he comes in on the second verse of this. This is actually one of the people in the band with him. So wait a second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was
He looks young.
Yeah. So no, he comes in a minute.
It got
After this,
1.3 million.
Here he is.
They came in their hordes, ransacking villages, taking the spoils with nothing to lose.
And this album is actually, it's a story album based upon Charlemagne. He kind of looks like, if you look at the old pictures of Charlemagne.
Yeah.
It's very
theatrical.
Yeah. Sticky.
Yeah.
It's like...
And the whole thing is a
it's
story.
It's so horrible, it's charming.
Yes, and the videos are very cheesy.
So horrible
and
and charming. It's akin to William Shatner's singing career.
And actually, there's some really good William Shatner albums out there because he did some songs with Beck, which is a whole another geeky tangent. We'll talk about that some other time. But I really appreciate the fact that Christopher Lee did this because he's a big fan of opera and music. And then once he got in his 90s, and he decided that this is what he wanted to do, so he made himself an album with some bands that he had a chance to that were fans of his, and so he had a chance to do this, and he got to live his dream. So talk about knocking something off your bucket list. He's like, I like music, and I want to make this symphonic metal, and people went, I'm in, okay.
I wonder if there's might be thought of making this then a Broadway production, actual stage production.
Well, it's so funny. If you look at the
potential.
video, it's like everything's one theme, but then this dude singing right now is wearing the kind of bomber jacket and the chain wallet.
Yeah,
and
the
everyone
rocker
else
guys.
Is,
Everybody, like, there's one rocker dude, and there's, like, other people are, like, super, like, there's violinists and all these other things.
He's the only one actually in period costume. The band is in their own.
Yeah. All right. Well, at least
hanging
they're
out in front of a castle.
They're
you know,
wearing
in this
elegant
video.
black. He's wearing, like, just rolled out of bed. I just shot heroin. Christopher Lee, by the way, not only is he 6'5", he was first married to his spouse in 1961. He was married for 54 years.
Yeah, he was. It just
was
seems
it a
like
divorce or?
No, well, she's still alive.
She survived.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, she's one of his survivors. So he did that. He's done a bunch of like Broadway tunes and things like that. And I think it's interesting when you have actors that are like him. That back then, when you started acting, a lot of times you were multi-talented. You didn't just act. A lot of them could, sing, and that would be required for a role, or they did a lot of Broadway and things like that because that's where those jobs came from, is being able to do multiple things.
Well, yeah, looking at that or listening to that video, I'm like, okay, he could probably be on
Broadway which he did. He did a lot of Gilbert and Sullivan and things like that. So
I love Christmas traditions. I don't know if this will be one, though.
Oh, my
Get
God.
a Christmas metal album.
Is that real? Heavy Metal Christmas 2.
It looks like it. Wait, that's not him, though.
No, he comes in later on some of these songs.
You know this stuff. That's very funny.
Yes,
Jane.
why? You mean why?
Truly listen to the whole thing.
Oh, it's a commercial.
Yeah.
It's a bit more naughty.
He did.
No.
He did intros for just about every metal song that he worked on.
He's funky. He's wearing like the African hat there.
He needs a dentist.
I think it's funny that
He's
you're
British.
surprised that I know this. Why would I not know about
right.
Christopher Lee, Chuck?
Look, like I know, but you don't just know about it. You know it.
Oh, gosh,
You're like,
yes.
know it.
That's why I have a
That's
show
why you gotta
called Your
listen
Geek
to
Show.
The Geek Show.
This
New
is-
one every Saturday.
I
Thank you.
know that,
11
but
a.m.
There's a bunch
You
out
can
there, right?
download us. We're part of the Alive and Social Network.
Like even
There's a bunch of them out there, right? What episode are you on now?
We are. This is good. This week will be episode 8.
So you can binge listen to Your Geek Show.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
this
even
week
know-
we'll talk about Sir Christopher Lee. We have a tribute to him. We're also going to be talking to Lee Egbert, who is the owner of 11 Wells Distillery. So we'll be doing Whiskey Geek Talk and also talking about our favorite Doctor Who companions, if you wonder what we'll be talking about this Saturday.
We've got our deck show today at 5:00, right?
Yeah, 5:00.
So we're going to do again a little shorter Thursday show. But before we leave, Miss Trivia, do you know the name Ron Moody?
I do not. That one I do not.
Do you know the name Ron Moody?
No.
He, back in 1969, was part of the Academy Award nominated movie.
I'm reviewing.
Oh, Oliver.
Okay.
Nominated for 11 Academy Awards. So much like The Lord of the Rings, in 1969, the musical Oliver was sweeping the Academy Awards. It won 5.
I remember this song. Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Oliver the musical was based on the Broadway show, which was based on the Charles Dickens novel Oliver Twist. Some of the songs from Oliver are like this. Do you recognize this song?
No.
Family.
Oh, she does. Oh,
You're not a Broadway guy, huh?
No.
You didn't play Broadway songs at the squad car?
No.
Going to get along. I know that one.
How about this one?
I'd do anything
for you, dear. Anything for you.
Chuck?
Take everything to me.
All right.
I know that's
I'd go anywhere.
How about this one?
You don't know, I love this. This is one of the ones I used to do in auditions when I had to sign up.
Anyway, Ron Moody also passed away, and he was in his 90s. But before he went, he was on an English talk show, and of course they had to talk about Oliver. So this was, I think Ron died at 93?
91.
91, all right.
91.
So this,
Too soon.
this interview, he was just approaching his 90s, but I thought it was quite funny. Here's a moment of Ron Moody. Yeah, I think he was like 88 years old on this English show.
This all happened 50 years ago. Wow. And you want me to go through all that again?
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. I'm not sick of it. I'm actually proud of it, but at a distance. It's the past. And at my age, you only think of the future.
But you acknowledged the past, though, didn't you?
I haven't finished yet.
I like his...
Well played.
He keeps going here.
How much input did you have in the
She
role?
hasn't finished her question.
No, I'm going to let you finish first.
Oh, I wasn't asking anything.
I was going to say, but you did acknowledge the past because you went back to and got on the stage for the 50th anniversary show, didn't you?
Well, that was a special case.
And you sang.
Yes.
Can you give us a song now? Can you sing for us now?
I was told that if I sing Pick a Pocket, it will be at the end of my appearance.
You've done
So
really
if
well.
I sing it now, it would be a bit short, wouldn't it? Just because I'm an old man, they don't want to give me my time.
Why should we break our backs?
So there he was. He played Fagin with the funky hat and the long trench coat, and he would dance around and... So there you go.
I've never seen this one. I know
You've
I'm
never seen
supposed
it?
to have seen Oliver, but
It's good. It's very good. Well, obviously, nominated for 12 Academy Awards.
It was something I watched a lot when I was a kid.
It won Best Picture, Best Director.
It's fun. Play it for the kids, Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
Play it for
Yeah,
your
they
kids.
would love it.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't.
really
Is there
fun.
killing in it? Because I don't know if they'd want to watch it. Kids this day
In fact,
feed off killing.
there is a murder in it.
Oh,
so.
we're good then. Yeah, I'll play that. Good.
He's like, I only do Game of Thrones
You,
murder.
you know what I find when I show my kids something classic like this, but they're used to it because I did it since they were little.
Watch this, you
It
little
does
shit.
take them a while to absorb
Yeah.
the pacing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But once they're fully calmed down,
Once you make them sit through the
they
first
love it.
20 minutes, then they're okay.
then they're like, oh, okay. It isn't breakneck, breathless pacing.
But I
And
used
now
to
I'm
watch
into it.
all of these when they came on TV. This and the old shows like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and all these old musicals, and I just thought that they were really, really cool when I was.
Yeah.
But I'm a giant geek,
The closest they get today is like the movie Frozen.
Yes.
Which is Broadway-esque. Certainly, in
Yeah.
fact, it is headed to Broadway, but it still has flashy colors
Or was it,
and a faster pace.
Into the Woods. You'll see Into the Woods, which is still. I think that moves a little slow for what people are currently used to.
Yeah.
But still fantastic.
Your daughter and son might like this one because the lead character is a young kid, so they can relate to him.
Well, they're downstairs right now doing their homework assignment, which is AKA punishment for getting in a fist fight. They're each writing me a 100-word story. I wish they were up here delivering their stories because I would get their take on their favorite movie. But
We will wait on that for later. You can do that over the weekend and then report back on Monday.
Shall do.
Well, again, we got our show today. Do we have anything more to go here?
Well, I have a crime story. Like
You
to talk
do?
about, yeah.
You have a crime story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good, fine. All right.
Yeah, this one's out of Florida again. What a weird
It's always
thing.
Florida or
weird
Wisconsin.
Crime comes out of Florida. Again, my friend Jody always sends me the word Naples stories, but this one's not out of Naples. This is out of Vero Beach. You're supposed to love thy neighbor, not kidnap them, no matter how loud they are in the laundry room. Leon Thurston of Vero Beach, Florida, faces kidnapping charges after police say he abducted a neighbor at gunpoint early Sunday morning because, what are your guesses, Rusty?
He was too loud.
Good guess.
Yeah, go ahead and do it. I
Shannon?
read the story, so I'm not. You just tell your story.
Okay. Because he felt she was making too much noise while washing her clothes.
Yes.
Wow,
Good
bingo. What do
guess,
I win?
Christopher.
Tell him what
You
he
can have a
wins.
dirty pair of panties out of the washing machine.
I got those.
Jessica and David Scoville were washing clothes in their laundry room at about 5:30 a.m. when Thurston, their next-door neighbor, appeared in the doorway and said they were being too loud. He was carrying a handgun and a baton. Well-armed, little man.
He was waiting, so maybe they'd been loud before. Is what I figured.
I've warned you, don't do laundry. He allegedly hit David with the baton twice before grabbing her by the wrist and taking her from the home. Police were called to the scene and used a canine unit to track Thurston and his alleged victim. They were not able to find the pair, but she later escaped after telling Thurston she needed to use a bathroom. They always use that. How cliche. Come up with something new. She fled and flagged down police officers. He took her to a nearby park and made her walk around a dirt track for a few hours while they spoke.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes, and so he admitted to the crime. He stated that he walked around with her and spoke to her to blow off some steam, which seems reasonable. I mean, other than he kidnapped her and held her at gunpoint. He advised he was not going to hurt her. And
But he wouldn't let her leave,
Well,
so I'm like, you don't get to kidnap me.
Yeah, well, kidnapping, schmidnapping.
He's like, I wasn't done talking to her, is what he says. It's like, that's not really okay, crazy.
And now, if you had to describe this young man, Rusty, did you see the picture?
Just a blurry, didn't quite look at, but
he looks about like you'd expect. He has no teeth whatsoever. Yeah, and
I would not expect. Okay,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's got from the. If you didn't look at his face, he's got the older Billy Ray Cyrus hairdo.
Yes.
But his face is like
salt and peppery.
His face is like Grandpa Jones Hee Haw.
Well, you know, when you're missing
He's
all
got
your
no
teeth,
choppers in
yeah,
there.
it tends to collapse a little bit when you're missing all your teeth, and he doesn't look so happy. It's weird how the whole jaw makes that kind of.
He's like, get up,
Remember the movie Up? The old man from Up.
He kind of does
Yeah,
without
it's
the
him.
glasses.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I really think that
No,
this
that
is
guy
just
looks way more hillbilly than the old man. The old man from Up was Ed Asner like.
Right. But
This
he has
guy
that
is-
jaw thing going. The kind of.
No, that is not Ed Asner. That's not Luke Grant.
They charge him
Luke
with...
Grant is more wholesome and husky football league. That guy is hillbilly meth man.
He is indeed.
So they charged him with armed burglary, aggravated battery, and assault, kidnapping, false imprisonment, and carrying a concealed firearm. They just need to put some anger management and some mental health things into place. I think we need to just this is clearly why we need to have a better mental health system here in America and specifically Florida.
I
There are
think
a lot
you're
of these
painting
stories.
a broad brush on this story. I think the man has had a rough night, and he was just blowing off some steam with his neighbor walking around a dirt track with a gun in his pocket after assaulting the husband and taking her for a walk in the woods.
Instead of talking to my therapist, I'm going to kidnap this lady and just talk to her while that's how I get it off my chest.
You some bitches with your dirty laundry, I told you to shut it off.
Yeah.
All out of Florida. Remind me, I always said when I retired, which I did about 2 years ago, I was going to move to Florida. Well, guess what?
Why? So you could be a private investigator and go solve kidnappings? Because that would be what you could do.
Or so you could live a lawless life and fit in with the crowd.
I was going to mac on all those 65-year-old leathery skinned ladies. Hello,
There are a lot of them
ladies.
there.
Ew.
I'll see you at the pool later, Ethel. Be awesome. Right a port.
I'm glad you have goals.
Ew.
Yeah, thank you. Whoa.
That's a reminder telling us, shut up.
Yeah.
So, or, we should also remind people, Saturday night you can see Chuck and I telling actual jokes at the New Hope Cinema Grill. You can get all the information on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
We'll be there. Show starts at 8:30.
Yes, New Hope Cinema Grill.
Yes.
Can't miss that. Yeah. Who's our feature that night?
Trevor Anderson.
Okay. It's going to be
It's
fun.
going to be a great
What does that
show.
mean? How does it work?
So Chuck is the MC and the host for the evening. We have
Loser.
another...
And he does some jokes as
So
well
he'll
as
do
the
some
MC and the
jokes. He'll
host.
do about 15 minutes of jokes at the beginning, and then we have
Oh.
Trevor Anderson that will come in there, and he'll do about 25 to 30, and then I round out the show at the end. You have to listen to me for pretty close to 45 minutes.
Wow.
We don't have to listen, but it'd be polite to at least point
You'll
in your
want
direction.
to listen. You'll want to listen.
You are going to want
Yes,
to listen.
yeah,
I've
so-
seen Shannon do comedy many times.
Yeah,
It's
so
funny.
it's going to be a fun time. Laughs guaranteed.
Yeah, laughs
Guaranteed.
guaranteed.
Guaranteed,
Or
yes.
your free ice water money back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to have a great time. It's actually a fantastic
I really, 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 really want to go.
Yeah, so hopefully you wrap up your shenanigans on Saturday and can make it to the show.
I'm shooting. They said it's a 12-hour shoot I'm doing on Saturday and Sunday. We had a read-through on the project, this film project, last night for almost 3 hours.
Okay.
And the director loves me.
Oh, good.
We all
Congratulations.
He said, I'm making it funny. He said, oh, I feel so much better now.
For those of you coming to our... Sorry, my cut... sorry, didn't mean to
No,
jump
I was
in
going
there.
to just say, what do we have? What we got to plug the Chart House.
Yes,
Yep.
so I'm going to do.
We got
So
Blue and White. We got 3rd Street Brewery.
Yeah, so tonight, Chart House. So, yeah, we're going to Chart House in
Nice.
Lakeville. Remember their fabulous Sunday
We'll be
brunch.
inside.
We will be inside, but they have a great inside space, so don't let the rain deter you. And we're going to have a guest host/guest, Hesley Ray, who's been on the show before, very funny comedian.
Yes.
Hesley and I will be performing together next Tuesday at
Nice.
the VFW Showcase, which was featured in last week's City Pages with Dan
Awesome.
Mogul. And Dan Mogul was just booked as a guest, by the way.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, he was booked?
Yeah.
Because someone Facebooked me and said, you should have this guy on the show.
Yep, he's coming. I
Cool.
think it's next week.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I found out recently Dan and I are cousins.
Oh, really?
Just a random fact. I didn't know that.
That's interesting.
Who would think two out-of-shape Jews making jokes would be related? Huh, in our
Nice
despair.
to know your family. Good
Yeah,
for you.
it is good. We talk about it at every Thanksgiving. We didn't know that yet. But yeah, so if you go to the Chart House, remember, you can take a blue and white taxi to get there with convenient air-conditioned cab service. And you can drink a lot of the 3rd Street Brewery, which, if it's not on tap this week, we promise it will be on tap next week.
Nice.
And, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So tonight, 5 o'clock, Chart House, be there.
We had such fun shows so far, and more fun shows coming for the deck shows.
Yes.
Including Mary Jane Alm and Mick Sterling and all that more fun stuff. All right? Already? Are we done?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll stay warm, everybody.
Dancing and singing in the rain.